Hey guys, welcome to today's live. Today we're going to talk about storytelling and how it plays a huge role in changing everything about how you do your marketing and increases sales, builds connection with your audience, and how it's really a game changer and how a lot of us, myself included, kind of skip over this. Just like why it's important and how to do it. There's a strategic way to tell stories that really will change your marketing. Let me go to my screen share. If you are joining the live, give me a hashtag live. If you're stopping by, and see the replay, give me a hashtag replay so I know that you stopped by. If you are watching this in YouTube, give me a thumbs up. And if you have any comments or questions, always feel free to leave those down below. All right, I'll go to my screen share. One second. Okay. There we go. All right, I do have a little presentation today. All right, the simple secret to increasing sales through the power of stories. So this is something that I've been learning about recently. I like to share my journey with you. I'm not trying to consider myself an expert here. Like this is something that I know that I need to work on and like I need to do in my own marketing. But I like to share what I learn as I learn it to help you on your journey as well. So, I mean, stories, like we are conditioned from a young age to connect with stories. I mean, you can think about story time when you're a young kid with, your mom or your dad or your grandparents, like telling you a story at night. Think about as you get older and like we have this kind of innate thirst for stories, right? And when we're older, it relates to reading books, going to the movies. We relate with the characters and the story and their journey. We like to see them in their struggle and then overcoming the struggle and getting to like the results. Like this, like it's this intrinsic thing where it's like we're drawn to it. Back from stories as a kid at story time all the way through. Everyone knows the story of like Darth Vader, for example, Harry Potter. Like these are really, really powerful stories that span generations because we can all relate to it. So remember this: facts tell, stories sell. So using stories rather than facts in our marketing, in our podcasts, our blog, email series, posts, whatever it is, the marketing, the content that we're creating, trying to make this shift from telling facts to telling a story, because people relate to and connect to stories. So a lot of time what we do, myself included, is like we get stuck in this like techno lingo as selling points rather than using a story to draw in the human experience and make it more memorable. So using this kind of framework here, like using this in all your marketing, it'll completely change the way you market and the way you sell. And it will help you connect with your audience and it will help you get more sales. So a lot of times when we start in business, like as I was saying, myself included, no matter what it is, like when we get into something, we get really into it, Like when I was first learning about online marketing, it's like, all these words you see here, like traffic, SEO, landing pages, sales funnel, domain, AdWords. Like I was going down all these rabbit holes of all these different words, like really learning about them. But then I was like so wrapped up in that world that when I met someone that wasn't in the world and started talking about like, oh yeah, well, like you need, to use an autoresponder to build your email list and you use a sales funnel, blah, blah. And they're just like, what are you talking about? Because like to me, I was so, immersed in it that I was like, oh yeah, like sales funnel, you hear the word sales funnel like 50 times a day, like everyone knows what a sales funnel is. And it's like, whoa, take a step back. Like not everyone knows what a sales funnel is. Let me know like in the comments now, like what's a term that now you're like totally know what it means, relating to your niche. But you might forget that other people that aren't ingrained in it don't know what it is. I mean, it could be sales funnel for you. It could be, gosh, I don't know what an example is in a different niche. Maybe ketosis, if you're doing like keto or like dieting, maybe like ketosis is something you like super understand and like hear all the time. But someone else that's not as ingrained in the industry is like, what's ketosis? Landing pages, that's another big one. Like early on, a lot of my like videos and marketing content was talking about landing pages and sales funnels and blah, blah, blah. And, normal isn't the right word, but like everyday people that aren't in the online marketing world that are maybe just, my friends on Facebook, family, whatever, they see that and they're like, what is she talking about? So it's very common. We get ingrained in this, in the niche, and like get excited about it. And we talk all this like stuff like SEO and, people outside of the niche, like they don't care about all these words and they care about what it does for them. Like you start talking about, I have some examples in a second, like talking about SEO and like marketing, keyword, strategy, metadata, backlinks, all this jargon that the average person doesn't know. Like they don't care about that. They're just like, I'd like more people to visit my site so I can have more sales, So like thinking about it that way, breaking it down to like what the person actually wants. They actually want, more traffic to their site. And if SEO backlinks, blah, 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 is going to get them that, then cool. But they're not going to like see the word backlink and be like, oh, that sounds exciting. Because chances are they don't even know what that means. And all of this leads to this person down in the bottom that's like, the person on the outside where they want this thing, they want this result, they want this goal, but all this like jargon, they're just like, I don't even know what that means. So this is like how we need to start thinking about the words we use and how it relates to how we market, the copywriting we do, and like bring it back down to basic stories that people can relate to that show the results that they want and how they get it with your thing, but by using normal language. So here's some examples. Excuse me. Like an SEO company, instead of saying something like, you need an SEO strategy, they could say something like, I'll help you rank top on Google so that more people see your site, more clients come in the door and you get more sales. That's what they care about, more people, more sales. They don't care about the backlinks and the metadata and the keywords. They care about like growing their business. Night cream. This night cream is full of organic antioxidants from Uganda, and it's proven to reduce fine lines and wrinkles. Can become, this cream is like opening a silky smooth time machine and will make you look and feel 10 years younger. You could even say like instantly. Again, the words like matter, like the almost kind of over the top sensational words, but it works. It draws out our emotions. Affiliate marketing. Learning affiliate marketing is a great way to start online. Becomes, imagine the perfect day. Waking up when you want to, pancakes with the family, leisure time on the beach, a lunch of fresh fruit from the farmer's market in the small Hawaiian town you're traveling in. All while still making good income in your spare time. this is what affiliate marketing allows you to do. Like, it paints more of a story. And again, I'm not claiming to be an expert here. Like, you guys could probably, write better sentences as well. But just like trying to think of how this relates to different niches and maybe the industry you're in, the niche you're in, starting to think about, like, what is some techno lingo I use, and maybe not realizing it, and like, what does it do? Like, why do people actually care about it? Because they don't care about the nuts and bolts in the process, they care about the results. And by using words and stories to paint the picture, it's much more engaging for your audience, and it'll really make a big difference in your marketing. So stories work because it's how we're wired. The human brain is wired for stories, and that is because that we're emotional beings. I read a book once that said something like we're like our decisions are like 80% based on emotion. Like, it's like you don't make like when you're like, what should we have for dinner? It's like, what do you make what you feel like, It's like, I don't feel like a salad. I don't feel like a burger. It's like, what do I feel like eating? Even what we eat is based on emotion. Emotions play a huge role in all of our decision making and also in our buying. This is why, years later, you will remember a story that someone told. You might not remember the name of the person or even where you met them. You're like, I heard this story. Same thing with books. Like, I just mentioned that the story that I remembered from the book. Don't remember the author at the moment, but I remember the story. Stories just like, they go into a different part of our brain. And it's like why we can remember a song we haven't heard in 20 years, and it comes on, you're like, I know every lyric to this song. One part of it's like the melody, but it's also probably because it's like connected to an emotion. So stories build this connection because it's like shared experiences, shared emotions, and it builds the connection between you and your potential client because it makes them feel like, oh, you're relatable. Like, I relate to that story. I see myself in that story. I see myself in that experience. And it's like they're there with you and they play it out in your own mind. And the One Funnel Away challenge, one of the coaches, Steven, talks a lot about stories, and he told this story, and it was just kind of like him coming home and having this, feeling beat down and having this just like discussion with his wife. And he's like told the story and like how he could smell dinner, and he used, imagery. And then he was like, what house was it that you saw in your mind? And I was like, oh, I saw like my house, It's like, what did the living room look like? And it's like, oh, it looked like my living room. And he's like, what was, cooking for dinner? Because he mentioned the smell. And like, he told this story that happened in his life, but as the listener, you play it out in your own mind, and like you create it kind of as if it was you. This is really interesting. But I was like, oh yeah, like I was totally listening to his story, but like playing it out in my mind, like as if it was me. So using stories throughout your marketing, throughout your content, will really grab people in a different way. And again, like this is all important with marketing because it relates to emotions, and people buy based on emotions. Speaking of emotions, I'm going to tell you a story. So this is me. This is flashback probably about 4 years ago. I was in Hawaii. If you've been around a while, you know that Hawaii is my happy place. Talk about spirit animals. Like, I feel like Hawaii is like my spirit place. I was lucky enough to study there for a semester in college. And just really, really, really fell in love with the culture and I just love it. And I've been back just a few times since then. This is one of the times, and I was at a point in my life where there was a lot going on internally. So I wanted to show these two pictures because I was in Hawaii with some friends. It was like a cycling trip, and this picture is like me out at dinner and like a coconut daiquiri, and I was like, life is wonderful. But this other picture is like how I felt on the inside. I was really having an internal battle because I was married, and I had been with the person that I was married with for about 9 years. Just a lot had changed. It was kind of one of those things where nothing was really wrong, but like it wasn't right either. So it was like, good enough. Like, it's okay. I can make this work. And over the years, we kind of changed as different people and kind of grew apart a little bit, or we grew apart. But it's this interesting thing. And I think a lot of times it happens in our lives where we're like, well, I've made this decision and like, I guess I'm supposed to live with it. I'm in this job. It's okay. It's not wonderful. It's almost like you can't quite put your finger on what's wrong, but you're not happy. You're not fulfilled, but yet you just keep going on day to day. It's fine. It's fine. You tell yourself it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Until one day it's not anymore. And so around this time, I had been married a couple years, but in a relationship about 9. And I knew I wasn't really happy, but it's like, it's okay. Just, it's fine. You can make it work. It's fine. Just really ignoring a lot about what I really wanted and what I really needed to be fulfilled. And I was in Hawaii, and before I went to Hawaii, the reason that Hawaii is kind of like this moment in time where I was like really dealing with this is because before I left, I had met somebody, and it's kind of like, this different opportunity comes along and you're like, oh, wow. Like, it's like a light. It's like a huge burning light is shown on your inner core, and you're like, oh, like that's what I want. It's like a big light's turned on and you can't ignore it anymore. You're like, you see everything that you've put up with that you shouldn't have. You've seen every time you've said yes when you should have said no. You see like all the little things that you kept saying was fine. You kept saying it's fine and then something happens and you're like, that's not fine. So I met somebody that showed me this different life that my soul was like, that's what I want. Like, that's what I want. Like, that is what I need. That's what I want. That's like, oh my gosh. Like, and I had this huge internal crisis because I was married. And it's like, well, what do you do when you're married, but like meet this person that seems like your soulmate? And so that's what's going on in this other picture. I was in Hawaii, I was in my happy place, but nobody knew what was going on the inside. And this is the beach that was, we're on the Big Island, so a lot of the beaches are this like volcanic rock. So every morning I'd go out by myself and find a rock to sit on and just watch the waves and listen to the sound over and over, the in and out of the waves. I feel the salt here on my skin, and then I would just like close my eyes and be like, what are you doing? Like, what are you going to do? Like, you need to make a choice. And that choice is really scary and daunting. I would like go out on the beach in the morning and just like, I was in my happy place, but I'd just be out there by myself crying, being like, what are you gonna do? Just, listening to the ocean, trying to decide, what decision I was gonna make in my life. So as I was going through, this obviously still emotional for me, but as I was going through this story, like, how did you feel? Like, did you feel emotion as well? Could you think of something in your life? Some circumstance in your life, or like maybe you're like, oh, you found yourself down a path that you're like, I don't want to be here anymore, but you're scared to make a decision. It could be in your career, your relationship, self-development, like whatever. Like, did you feel like you could relate to my story at all? Did you feel the emotion? Did you feel kind of like the conflict there? So this is what stories do, right? They evoke emotion and connection, and whatever it isn't that your business is, whatever your product is. What you're really selling is what your product does, and you convey that through stories. So give me a comment if you're watching, how you felt when I was going through this story. If you felt any emotion, if you felt like you connected to it at all, let me know. This is the outline of storytelling. We're going to take some time. We'll go through this for a second. So you really want to walk your people, your potential clients, through a journey, through your journey, or it could be through someone else's story that you know and want to share. But you want to give them an aha moment. And I'll explain more about what that means. It's called the Epiphany Bridge in Expert Secrets. So this is from Expert Secrets. And this is like the plot of every story, every movie, Star Wars, Harry Potter. Like, this is like, you'll start to see, like, when you're watching a movie, like, this is what they take you through. They take you through the background, character development, the desire the person has, whether it's internal or external, like what they're struggling with. And then the wall, the obstacle in the way, the uphill battle, like the struggle, and like, the war, internal, external. It's like the wall they hit, right? And then like the epiphany, it's like the aha moment, right? The like, oh, like this is what I need to do to get through the obstacle, to overcome the wall. This is what I need to do. And like how the plan was created. And again, like the conflict experience on the way. And then like at the end, it's like the achievement or the transformation, whether it's internal or external. This is like basically the plot of like every good movie and every good book. Now, learning this will help you develop your storytelling and help you and me bring stories into our marketing in a way, in a strategic way that walks people through this with us. It's like we, grab their hand, it's raining, we hold an umbrella over them, and we're like, join me on this journey. I'm going to keep you out of the rain. And so, Expert Secrets. Get this book. I don't say that because I'm an affiliate for it. If you do use my affiliate link, I get $1. So I'm not promoting this to make money, you guys. Like, this is a really, 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 really good tool. And every online marketer, I don't care what you're selling, what niche you're in, you can really learn a lot from this book. Seriously. And again, it's free. You just pay shipping and handling. It's free. But yeah, this is like the outline. It goes way more into it. This is just like a couple pages here, but talking about the Epiphany Bridge script, or the getting your to the aha moment There's, and again, this is like the outline. It goes way more into detail in each chapter, and there's lots of little drawings to help you understand. One of the great gifts that Russell Brunson has is breaking down complicated things and concepts into very understandable cartoon level way that's just super easy to understand. Like, you don't need to go to college for a copywriting degree. Get this free book. It's like $1,000 copywriting course and a free book. All right, so get this book. So like backstory, like it goes through here in this where it asks these 14 different questions to help you outline your storytelling. No matter what it is, you can come to here and like answer these questions, and it'll create an outline of a beautiful story that will walk your audience through exactly what they need to learn more about you, your product, what it does, like why it matters, in like a really powerful way. So like the backstory. What is your backstory that gives a vested interest for me, for anyone else? What gives a vested interest in your journey? Like my backstory was, I was divorced and broke and like tired of being broke, and I wanted to have more like, I want to be able to travel and do what I love, but like still make money and not be broke. Like that's where I was. That's my backstory. Like $10,000 in debt, and yet when I heard about how to create money online through like high-end affiliate marketing, like that's the vehicle that I discovered. And like when I found a course that said it could do that, I was like, yes, here's my money, here's my credit card, because like I knew it could change my life if I committed to it, if I did it, if I learned. You see all these other examples of people that have made it happen. I'm like, if they can make it happen, I can make it happen. My desire, my external desire was to like have more money, but really it's like, it's not just about the money. Again, money, like, doesn't buy happiness, it supports it. It supports the lifestyle that you want. I wanted to not wake up in a panic attack about money. I wanted to be able to like have extra money over the end of the month and not have to say no to everything because I didn't have any money. Then the internal struggle was like knowing I could do it, believing I could do it, and like working on that internal battle that we all have of like, is it possible? Can I do it? That the wall or problems that you hit, on your journey, my overwhelm, like not having a mentor, not trying all the things, following all the people, and just like being around in a circle, thinking I could figure it out on my own. Like these were all walls that I hit. And epiphany, what was the epiphany or you experienced, a new opportunity you discovered? And for me, that was working with Zach, the creator of Sam H, the program that I recommend, and I know it's great and it works. The program of mentoring that I recommend for people that want to create a freedom lifestyle, that want to learn how to do online marketing and build their online business. Like when I found him and his program and his support, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is what I needed. And like now that's what, I do content on. And here on my YouTube channel and my email list, like that's what I do content on, because it was a game changer for me. And I know it can be a game changer for other people. So the plan you created to achieve your desire. The conflict, what conflict did you experience along the way? And again, a lot of the conflict was, first it was like technical stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, you can learn that. And then it was like mental stuff. Can I do it? What if it doesn't work? I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. All the mental struggle that we all have. That's why I talk a lot about mindset in this group. The achievement, what was your end result? My end result was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually making money online. Like, yes. And the transformation that you experienced. For me, it wasn't just learning all the technical skills. Again, it was like this lifestyle that I wanted and that I'm working towards and that I'm creating, where I only have to work, an hour or two here and there, and I still make good income without having to have a job, without having to work 8 hours a day. Like, that's the transformation that I had. So this is, my example, but like walking through this like script, this outline will help you develop your voice, your story that relates to you and like your product and service, like how it changed your life, so that you can then share that and other people can start to have their own aha moment of, this could change my life too. All right, so this all comes down again to emotions. Like, people buy emotionally and they back up the purchase with logic. My purchase of this water bottle was emotional because I love this color. Did I really need a $30 water bottle? Another $30? Maybe not. But I was like, oh, it's a beautiful color. But actually, I want to share a story about Lululemon. Great example of emotional buying. So Lululemon, mostly of you guys are probably familiar, but Lululemon is like on this pedestal of athletic wear, like high quality, all the cool people wear it, like it's high end, it makes your butt look good. Like, it's just like they've done a really good job with their marketing and their storytelling. They've created this story that like, our stuff is the bomb and you need it if you want to be the bomb. So Lululemon, I never bought it full price. It's, it's like expensive. And, growing my background, growing up, being very frugal, growing up at yard sales, getting everything from the thrift store into my adult life. I didn't buy anything if it wasn't on sale or at a thrift store. So me walking into Lululemon, not looking at price tags, just buying what I want, was a foreign idea. It was like, why would I spend like $200 on pants? Like, but there was this time where when we were leaving Portland, so we used to live in Oregon, my partner and I decided to move to Colorado, and we sold everything. It was this big change. And in that, I sold my business I had at the time. I had a dog walking business, and I sold it. And as a treat for me selling my business, I was like, I'm going to take myself on a shopping spree to Lululemon. Like, I'm going to treat myself. So I go into Lululemon and I try on like 20 pairs of tights and like all the sports bras. And then there was this shirt. I would have worn it on this video, but it's long sleeve and it'd be too hot. But there was a shirt, and it's like kind of just a basic shirt. It's like a crew neck, but it's kind of technical wear, but not super jaggy. There's just something about it. It was black and had these little white like specks, and it reminded me of the night sky. And it was like $100. And I was like, you don't need that. It's $100. You don't need that. And like, I didn't need it, but I really wanted it. And I wanted it because of like, I thought it looked cool and it would make me look cool, and I'm treating myself, so I deserve it. So I bought it with emotion. I was like, I deserve this $100 shirt. This is a fly shirt. Like, I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to buy these tights, and I'm going to buy this sports bra, and I'm going to buy this tank top. I spent like $400 on like 4 things. But the whole purchase, the whole trip was emotional. I was like, I deserve this. I'm going to treat myself. And the leggings, I do wear a lot. The sports bra, it's like the only sports bras I wear. Tank tops, I really, really like their tank tops. But this shirt, this long sleeve black shirt that was $100, I did not need it, like at all. But I emotionally wanted it. It's like, oh, there's just something about it. It looks cool. I feel cool in it. And then I I backed it up with logic of like, you just sold your business, you deserve this, you know? So this is like what we do. This is how we all buy. We buy emotionally, and then we back it up with logic. So you have to remember this with your marketing, with your storytelling. And that's why like putting more story into all of your content, like it builds that emotional connection, because that's why people buy. They buy based on emotion. It's true for me. I'm sure you can think of lots of times where it's true for you too. And it's like, no one needs the $150 pair of tights. No one needs them. But like, we want it, you know? Like lots of stuff we don't need, but we buy it because it's like we have this emotional reason for like, it'll make me look cool. Like, you know, like all my other stuff is crap from the yard sales. Like, I didn't, you know, deserve my things, which you do deserve my things. But I'm just saying these are like the emotions and the logic we use to like for purchases, right? So same with me, same with you. Like, we all buy on emotion, and then back it up with logic. So this is why you need to give people stories to make them have their own aha moment. Like Lululemon with their advertising, their ambassadors, it's like makes me in my head be like, oh, I need that because then I'll like feel cool. So a few little last bullets here and to wrap it up. People won't buy into your idea, into your product, into your service unless they have their own aha moment. So telling a story helps them walk through the story in their own mind and come up with their own aha moment. Like, you're sharing your aha moment, your struggle, your journey, the wall, the obstacles, what worked, what you discovered. You're sharing your story, but they experience it in their own mind, kind of in like third person. So when you teach or sell anything, you need to wrap it into a story, and best yet, an emotional story, because they'll remember it better, they'll connect with it better. Again, it kind of goes in this like different part of your brain where like you remember stories and the emotion and like how you connected to it. So you get people to emotionally invest by telling stories and describing in detail how you felt, and describing, you know, in detail your feelings, the struggle, how you felt inside, how the weather was. Like in my Hawaii story, I'm sure I could have gone into more detail, even more so, but I tried to like be like, you know, I was like listening to the waves. So you can kind of imagine in your mind, and like the salt air hitting my face, like the tears, like using imagery and emotion in your stories will help people not just connect to it better, but like remember it better because they'll feel it more. So again, like walking through the outline that's in Expert Secrets, of your backstory, of, you know, the journey you went through, the new opportunity you discovered, like the big change it created in you, the desires you had, the transformation that you had, like using this story outline and really working with it and practicing with it. It's certainly something I need to practice as well. And the more you do it, the more you practice it, the smoother it'll get, the more concise it'll get. And that's how you master anything, is like practice. So, you know, reading the book and then working through the outline on your written content, on your blog and your stories and your posts, and practicing it through, you know, talking on live streams on YouTube. Speaking of live streams, I'm going to do a post. Actually, I think it's scheduled for today's Tuesday. Tomorrow, a post is going to come up in the Facebook group where every Friday now, like, you're going to have an opportunity to practice this live in the group. it can be practicing your story, it can be practicing storytelling, it can be just practicing your pitch, your sales message. You can come on live and just tell a story about yourself. You can tell a story about your product, your service, like a part of it, what it does. But practicing going live and practicing stories is how you get better. So every Friday in this group, you have the opportunity to do that. It's the only time that I'll allow you to post your links, your link to your product, your website, your Facebook group, whatever it is. I don't allow just posting links normally in the group because I don't want it to become spammy. But if you come on live, present your story, present your message, and have a link you want to send people to, it's totally okay. So every Friday. And all you need to do is just DM me with the day you want to do it, just so I can kind of space them out. But yeah, every Friday you have an opportunity to practice this live in this group. Because this group is for you. It's for you to learn. It's for you to hone your skills. It's for you to, practice the techniques, the mindset stuff, like, consistency, showing up live. Like this, this group is like supposed to be for you guys, to help you out. So just wanted to mention that, and there'll be another post on that tomorrow. But yeah, this is all I have for right now. Thank you for joining live. I'm going to see if I can look on my phone real quick. The only problem with doing this screen share is I can't see live when there's comments. I'm going to try to see if I can get on here on my phone. Yeah, I'm going to end this now. If you have any other thoughts or comments, go ahead and put them in the comments and I will see it. Whether it's now or later, I will see it and respond. And DM me if you want to, come on live on any Friday and practice talking, practice doing a live, practice selling. I was going to say sharing a story. You're working on your sales message, because you won't get better at talking and piecing the pieces together. I need to work on talking. You won't get better at it and be more comfortable talking and on camera on a live unless you do it. So let me know if you want to practice in the group. All right, guys, I hope you found value in this. If you did, give me a thumbs up. And as always, I welcome any comments or questions you have. All right, thanks, guys.